Hey everybody, welcome to another round of reviews. Today we're reviewing the Ferro Slingster single point sling in Ranger Green. That's this little fella here. And I've got it hooked up on the MP5 SD6 from Umarex. And we're going to talk about this guy. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about it, what I do like about it, what you might like about it, what you might not like about it. And I'm going to compare it to a couple other slings. So let's get into it, shall we? So this, like I said, is a Ranger Green Slingster single point. It is from Ferro Concepts. It's the real deal. You have the little Ferro logo right here on their little label. Tells you it is the Slingster made in the USA. And it is not a bad little single point sling. So single point slings are not always super popular amongst a lot of people. I personally like them for different reasons. And you got a couple different kinds of single point slings. You've got this style, which is kind of like a loop that you put around your body, and then you go out there, punch out, get to go to work. And then you've got this type of single point sling here. So this is a Spec Ops brand Wolf hook. This is this kind that just hooks into your gear. It's one single piece of webbing with a a 1-inch side release buckle at the other end. And that's kind of how it hooks into the weapon system. And then you do what you got to do. Now, with that being said, these are great, but these require kit. If you're not wearing your kit, you're not running this sling. That's where one of these guys comes in. You can wear this all day long and run it with or without gear, with or without kit. You could run it over your plate carrier, over a chest rig, or just slick on the body all day long. And that's kind of where these come into play as far as single point slings go. Why a single point? 2 points are awesome, but sometimes 2 points mess up this front workspace. Maybe you don't have a lot of connection space here midpoint at the receiver, like on this MP5. If you don't have a lot of working area or modularity, so you can move your sling further back onto the receiver, a single point might make sense for you if you want to keep this front area here, this front workspace open, to keep it snag and sling free. Why I like this sling so far. The pad is slimmer than the other Slingster and some of their repros out there. I'll show you the differences here in a moment. I do like the fact that it did stick with the standard Slingster adjuster. At first glance, I was kind of like, oh, that's bulky. That might get in the way. But it doesn't. It works. It works really well. It's very easy to adjust. Moves forward to tighten the sling. And when you need more girth, you just bring it backward. It's very easy to do. This adjuster, this polyurethane grip, this adjuster from Ferro that goes on these 1-inch old school Alice style aluminum adjusters is great. These things are fantastic. These have become standard on all Slingsters for a while now. They were a thing you could buy. You still can't buy them separately and add to older legacy model Slingsters, but these are fantastic and they make a good purchase point for grabbing and adjusting. I thought this might kind of get in the way and get under my arm and feel uncomfortable, but it didn't. The sling is very simply made. You've got a length of webbing running to the adjustment points, goes to a small metal oval, and then from that oval it goes back to a tri-glide, which keeps the 1-inch running through a pass-through on the pad to another tri-glide, which runs out to another tri-glide onto a small metal oval, which I'll show you in a second as I pull it off, and then onto a bit of webbing onto the actual weapon itself. So this bit of webbing here that connects to the weapon system, or a HK hook, or mash hook, or push button freaking snap, whatever you want to use. It is very generously sized, which you're going to see in a second. Let me get this out of the way. So this thing has a lot of webbing, and I think they did that just so you can kind of figure out exactly how you want to do it and what you want. It's got so much webbing, I feel like I will probably end up trimming it down to suit my purpose because it's so much that if I was just to weave it through the MP5 like I had it, I'm going to have to tape it off and it's going to get cumbersome and in the way. Now, something I don't like, there's no way to quickly remove myself from the weapon. So I might actually have to put a 1-inch, like a small 1-inch buckle on here, just weave it in. So that might be something I do. That also might be why there's so much webbing here, to give you that option to try to do something like that. I'm not sure. This little ring, this little metal ring, that's a little circle. That's how everything connects to the single point. and that's where it kind of comes off of the sling to go to the weapon. Like I said, the pad is a lot smaller than a standard pad. It is, so these are 1 inch squares, so 2 of these together would be 2 inches. We're sitting at, I don't know, about 1 1/4, or yeah, 1 1/4, not 1 1/4, sorry. So we're about 1/4 short of 2 inches. I don't know how to say that properly. I'm deficient. You know what I'm trying to say. I swear I'm a Neanderthal. Anyway, 2 inch wide. I got about 1/4 inch of space left over from this guy here. So a standard Slingster, the pad is right up straight up at 2 inches. This guy here is smaller, and it's nice. So the Slingster itself is pretty small too, but it's still a decent sized pad. Like I said, you got the same exact system here that you have on a standard Slingster. Now, with a standard Slingster, if you get one of these attachments, which I already reviewed on my channel, I'll have a card will pop up for it. You can convert one of these guys from a 2-point to a 1-point and kind of turn it into this here. So the question is, well, Muddy, why would I buy this if I can just do this with this? Well, you can with extra pieces that don't come on the Ferro Slingster, and it's cool and all, but I can't do this to the MP5 because the MP5 doesn't have these. So to do this, I require these, or at least HK hooks. So that's one reason why I opted for the standalone single point. And then also, I require I wanted a smaller pad. Bigger pad. That's another reason. But this is nice to be able to do this when I am running the 2-point on another rifle. And then we've got the Krydex copy of a Slingster. And this pad is a lot bigger. So this pad is sitting at, it's like 2 1/4 inches. It's considerably bigger than this pad. So look at this little guy. And you got quite a bit of extra padding right there. You can also see the difference in the Ranger Green too. The Krydex Ranger Green is much closer to olive drab than it is to Ranger Green. So that's kind of, if you want big fat pad, like I've said before in the review to this guy, I'll link it, a little card will pop up. Go with the Krydex. If you want a slightly more reasonable pad, go with the Slingster, which I'll put a card for the original Slingster review too if you're curious. And then if you want a single point with a smaller pad, go with the single point Slingster because you won't be upset. It's a nice little thing. Now, mind you, like I said, a few small things I don't like is I don't like the fact there's no QD from this. I can't remove the sling from the weapon system. Like, I am tethered permanently to the gun with this. So if I get snagged up or caught on something, now mind you, I already know a million people out there are already going to be like, Muddy, it's Airsoft. You're not going to die. Yeah, no shit. But I still like the ability to get unhooked from something. If there was some sort of emergency, if I was at a large enough game where there was a vehicle involved and I was in said vehicle and that vehicle was to roll over or get in an accident and I was trapped because of my stupid toy gun and that's what killed me, that would be embarrassing as fuck to be on my tombstone. I'd like to be able to clicky click and get the fuck out of the car or whatever was trapping me to my toy gun. And then if I was ever using this on a real weapon system, doing real things for some reason again, ever in my life, I want the ability to untether myself from the weapon. And I know some of you out there still do real things, and that is something you might be looking at is going, oh, can I get in and out of this, or can I get untethered? And with this, you cannot. So I highly recommend you look into a way to add a 1-inch side release buckle to this to make that a reality so you're not completely tethered to your weapon system of choice when running one of these. Now, for my BBU heroes, that's probably not too much of a problem, probably not much of a deal. This is going to be something that would be fantastic for indoor play at like an arena, especially my Speedsoft guys. You can have your airsoft gun tethered to your body so you can keep good positive control of it, but not so much that it's going to impact your grip or impact how much you can punch out and go to work and use the front of the gun. Something like this would be really beneficial, even for my woods ball airsoft MILSIM guys who like to go out and play outdoor. This would be useful too. Just the 2-point might be better. It depends. You can't really put it on your back too well with a single point But, you know, there's trade-offs, different strokes for different folks. I hope you guys got something out of this review. I hope maybe if you've been looking at a Ferro Concepts Slingster single point, that this video may have helped you either say, that's something I want to do, or nope, not for me, dog. I don't want it. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Get out there, play some Airsoft. LARP smarter, not harder. Try different stuff. Try different slings. See what works best for you. Because just because a guy uses it in his kit on a picture doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It may not be the best option. I don't care what the fashionistas say. Impressionistas are not always correct. If you like this content, consider hitting the subscribe button. It's the bottom right-hand corner, little helmet logo. Punch that guy in the head. Join me here. And until next time, LARP smarter, not harder, and I'll hopefully see you on the field. Peace.